Section 3, the Emancipation Proclamation, Note Taking Study Guide, page 179. The question we're going to answer is, what were the causes and what were the effects of the Emancipation Proclamation? It's a very important proclamation, and there were some specific causes and specific effects we're going to talk about. So, first, emancipating the enslaved. Lincoln's main war goal was to restore or preserve the Union. His main war goal was not to abolish slavery. It was to preserve the Union. Okay? So at the beginning, he did not free the slaves at the beginning of the war because he wanted to avoid causing border states to secede as well. And he was still trying to patch the South together, hopefully without war from the start. But he eventually did issue the proclamation, Emancipation Proclamation, on January 1st, 1863. However, it only freed slaves fighting the Union. So very few slaves were immediately freed from this. So the middle states that were still slave states but joined the Union and didn't secede, they didn't actually, if they had slaves, they were not freed. The Emancipation soldiers supported the proclamation because it weakened the South, and it caused a civil war, and this is very important, to become a war to end slavery. It was a war for freedom and liberty, not just to unify the South and the North. And it also kept Britain from recognizing South independence because Britain had already abolished slavery. And so the people in Britain got behind the North after this Emancipation Proclamation and pressured the British government not to recognize South's independence. African Americans helped the Union and actually fought for the Union. Over half of the American volunteers for the Union were former slaves at some point. They did not, unfortunately, if they were captured as prisoners of war, they didn't treat African American soldiers very well. They either faced slavery or they were killed. Non-combat positions held by free African Americans in the Union Army. They were cooks, wagon drivers, hospital aides, and many enslaved African Americans also hurt the South's effort, Confederate war effort, even though they were still slaves at the time. They would provide information to the Union as kind of spies, and they also just refused to work. And this hurt the South's effort to win this war.